If you ever lose sight of your threats to mission success, you will always lose the fight. Lose sight, lose the fight. It's true flying fighters, and it's true for you in the corporate real estate environment as well. Well, today, we're not only going to give you some tools to help you keep sight of your competition, we're going to teach you a process that will dramatically improve your execution. And we call this process the Afterburner Flawless Execution Model. This is a process that we use every single mission, training, or combat to ensure that we survive, we improve, and we ultimately win. We begin this process with a plan. Folks, flying fighters is complicated, right? So we use a very simple 6-step process to get us from where we are to where we want to be every single time we plan. Once we plan that mission, we must then brief the plan or communicate the plan to the members on our team who are actually going to go out and execute the mission. Now, some companies do a pretty good job of planning, but then they issue marching orders to their troops to start running for some finish line before they've really spelled out where that finish line is located or why they're even headed in that direction. Well, in our world, before every single mission, we hold a briefing where we make sure every single person understands exactly what's expected of them. Everybody's on board the same boat, we're all rowing at the same time, and we know we're all pointed in the same direction. Once we plan the mission and we brief that plan to our team, it's now finally time to go out and execute. Now at Afterburner, we think there's one thing that constantly gets in the way of that nice, flawlessly executed mission, and that's performance-draining task saturation or task overload. I have over 350 switches and dials in my F-16. I might be flying with 7 buddies, going after 16 enemy aircraft. The weather's changing, the terrain's changing. It's obviously very easy for me as a fighter pilot to become task saturated. Now, in my conversations with some of you yesterday up on the floor, I understand that nobody in the corporate real estate industry is ever task saturated, am I right? No? All right. Well, we'll give you some tools to help you maybe minimize some of those effects towards the end here. Once we plan, brief, execute, and we know our results, what does 90% of corporate America like to do next? Guess what? You're right. Nothing. Plan, brief, execute, Miller time. Or, in most cases, it's more like plan, brief, execute, and it's on to putting out the next fire or dealing with the next crisis of the day. Well, not in our world. After every single mission, we call time out and we hold a debrief, where we get together behind closed doors. We hash out what worked and what didn't. And we walk away with 1, 2, maybe even 3 key lessons learned. Things we never want to do again. Things we always want to incorporate into our plan. So that when we plan, brief, execute, debrief, coffee's not kicking in yet, is it? We win on our battlefield. And folks, if you'll embrace this concept, I promise you'll continue to win on your battlefield as well. That's what we're going to focus on for the remainder of today, is the Afterburner Flawless Execution Model. And my goal is to have each of you walk out of here with at least 2 tools that you can take back and apply immediately in your workplace. So let's get started. Why do you think fighter pilots debrief? So we can learn from our mistakes, right? Let me give you an example. Let's say Jackie O's the flight lead of 4 F-16s and we're out on a training mission. Now flying with me today, I have the general of the base with 20 years of flying experience, and we've got 2 brand new lieutenants or new hires. Now as the flight lead, it's my job to oversee the planning. It's my job to brief that plan to the team. It's my job to execute or lead that mission in flight. And we've said we made the commitment to debrief. It's my job to lead the debrief. So we land from the mission. We meet in the debriefing room, and the door closes behind us. Something magical happens. The name tags come off the chest. The rank comes off the shoulders. And we hold what we call a nameless, rankless debrief. So that without fear of reprimand, without fear of retribution or career implications, I can bring out all the mistakes that we made on today's mission. Guess what? If the general of the base made a mistake, I have got to be able to say, hey, number 2, this morning in the brief, I told you to lock your radar at 20 miles, tell me who you had, and take a simulated shot. I didn't hear a word from you all day. What happened? Did you not understand my briefing? Did you have a problem with your radar? Did you just not get the job done? Yeah. You're going to say that to the general. You're going to say something like that to your boss. Okay, I know you're thinking that's career suicide, right? Okay, I'll tell you what. We'll just sweep the general's mistakes under the rug. We'll let him go out. He can learn those mistakes on his own. Maybe fatally in a combat situation tomorrow. But let's face it. Do we really think the general of the base is going to be the one out there on the front lines turning and burning with the enemy, with the competition? No way. But what about our 2 brand new lieutenants, our new hires? What a disservice to those 2 individuals if they were not allowed to benefit from all of the lessons from today's mission. Debrief's over. The door opens back up, and that rank structure goes right back into effect. The general of the base says, "Jackie O, jump." I salute smartly. I say, "How high, sir, and when do you need it by?" Trust me, folks, if this can work in an environment that is so rank conscious that we salute the general's car, whether he's driving it or one of his teenage kids is driving it, it's true. I'm pretty sure it can work in your world as well. I'm going to show you how. We make the mistakes. We fess up to them. We say, "I can fix it," and we do it every single time. Please incorporate debriefs into your missions, and when you do, make them nameless and rankless. We have a saying when it comes to the debrief: it's not who's right, it's what's right. And that's exactly the attitude we have to have as we approach our debriefs.